We got Duncan, we're ready to go. Coolant's drained out of this thing. That means we're ready to go. And I got here late because I got a problem with my Truist bank accounts. I guess getting a new phone took away my access to my business account. That's not good. Anyway, this video is not going to be about my troubles or about my accounts. This video is going to be spending a day in the shop, putting an engine in a BMW. Jason's working on that one. There's a lot going on around here. It's busy. We got like 4 engine jobs all of a sudden, 3 Chryslers and a BMW. But in any event, we're going to learn things and have fun and make it work today. Hope you'll spend the day in the shop with me. We are getting close to 800 episodes. I think we might be right around the 800th, or it's very close. I got to do a live stream for you guys. I'm so busy. I put a pool pump in my pool. I made a video about that. Try to keep some content for you guys. Got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We're busy, man. But I'm gonna do a live stream here soon. Maybe we'll be at 28,000 by the time I get it done. We'll see. I appreciate the support though. You guys are awesome and the channel's doing good. So that's what's most important. And I'm gonna do what I can to make it worth watching. Drama, mystery, intrigue, comedy, buffoonery, all of the things I like to do every day, whether the camera's on or not. Let's finish getting the shop open up and get started. Stay tuned. On the old Chrysler 300, the coolant is drained, and I got to drain the oil, but the drain plug, she said nope. So we got tools for that. Don't worry. We have got so many freaking tools here. It's crazy. Prepare to be amazed. Got the gear wrench. Strip nut removal socket set. Since we're replacing this engine, it could be about as rough as we want. We might need an oil pan, and sometimes the junkyard stuff will come with crushed oil pans and all. That's why I paid $7,500. That'd be good. I gotta get my socket back. A few oil filters in there, so I'm taking a risk right now just for the show. Taking this channel to the next level, boys and girls. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. My next thing here is to get these 15s, the ones I can reach and all. And I think the converter bolts you get through the starter hole. But I'm not sure, because it's not really easy to get up there. But we'll figure something out for it, I guess. I wonder if you have to drop the subframe. I should look up the procedure instead of just winging it, huh? The exhaust is, it bolts to the head. That's the only place there's no flange. No flange, no, oh, there you go. That's the first connection. So I'm guessing you got to unbolt the 4 10mm bolts at the cylinder head. And in the motor mounts, you take the heat shields off and you can get to the 15s that hold, there's 2 on each side. There's a ground on this one, you got to remember. There's some rubber plugs there, but I think that's for access to oil pan bolts. So I'm disconnecting the O2 sensors now. I'll get some of those out of the way. This one I don't have to because the exhaust is going to stay in the car. Tranny's going to stay in the car. We're just going to pull the motor out the top, I believe. I'm going to look for a couple of tips on the interwebs, see if I'm missing something maybe, so I might get a better idea which way I should go. But I don't think you take the subframe out on these. Alright, let's get a 15, a transmission extension, and get to work now that the fluids are out of the way. Got some of bell housing bolts. I got the 4 motor mount bolts out, 2 from the back, 2 from the front. I'm going to take the steering shaft out to make it easier to get to the starter. And I marked the rack, and it's got a slot for the bolt, so you can't really put it off anyway, but it still makes me feel better. Like the Beach Boys, you know, good vibrations. That's what it's all about. Steering shaft bolt, I kind of understand Loctite. Give me a little more room. Tell you what. It's a good thing this starter's the size of a power window motor. Because it will not fit out otherwise. La la la. Ground cable up there. A little cover. I disconnected the crank sensor connector. There's a little cover here, but it's like more of a dirt or dust shield or something. Had a big 15 holding it on for that little piece of tin. So I'm bringing my bolts from the back to the front in my tray, kind of keep them semi-organized. But with a used engine coming, we'll have plenty of extra bolts. So we got to be a little careful with that. I try to separate them the best I can. I'm thinking about dropping the rack because I do think I have to get the converter bolts from here. And I might have more room taking these 2 bolts out of the rack. I already have the steering shaft off. I can leave it connected and just drop it down a couple inches. I think I'll do that. It's a 15 and a 19. Gotta take care of an emergency oil change. I'll be right back. Much more room than that. I gotta bungee that up with something. Alright, with the rack bungeed, boy, it's not easy to get to these bolts. And guess what? If you drop one, it falls down in here where there's no place to get it out except maybe these holes. I don't think. If you drop a converter bolt, you have to take the motor back out or the tranny back out to get to it. And I want to say it has 6 of them. I think there's 2, 2, and 2. Hopefully it's not 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. But we're going to find out. We'll put on our 2, 2 and do what we got to do. Crank so you can just get it in the little windows, about 2 inches of room, about an inch or so margin of error. But you got to get your swivel at the right angle. Then you get your transmission adapter. Not a lot of margin for error at all. See what I mean? That means I got to turn the motor just a little bit more, I think, so that I can get my extension in this other extension. You don't really want to turn the engine backwards unless you're replacing it. Then it doesn't matter. You can go a couple degrees, but I think it loosened. Just the socket fell off. Nope, didn't loosen. I'll keep after it. Don't give up. It turns. I thought it was bouncing on the bolt maybe, but I think that's the last one. Now, I'm trying to do the exhaust with my extended reach rat shot. I think the bottom ones, you don't have to take them out. There's a slot in the pipe, so the bottom bolts you only loosen. The top ones we got to take out completely. I'm hoping I can get the top ones from the top. Kind of makes sense, right? I still got to get the front one on this side. I got to figure that out. Right up there, can you see it? Yeah, me either. What?
The driver headlight, he charged it an hour and a half.
Alright.
And 14. I already did the DCI.
Alright, thanks. Gotta do a headlight and oil change. I'll be right back. Now I understand. You gotta take the bumper off on this one to do the headlight. Spoiler alert, you don't have to take the whole bumper off, you just take this side off. But another spoiler alert, we did a bulb in January on it, and it needs a connector. That's why the bulb didn't work. We're getting somewhere though. We're going to fix this car up in no time flat. Well, this is going to go yellow to black and black to purple. That's how it is on this one. That's how I'm doing it. I don't care if the colors match or not. Doesn't bother me. It's not going black to black. That might not be entirely true. Two of those crimped on. I'm probably going to cut some of this off. That's a little too long for me. Probably shouldn't have your hands too greasy, but when you're doing headlights during an engine installation, that's what happens. I like to use the part, and this part will poke. That's for non-insulated. I like to use this part right in front of it between the blade and the non-insulated as a flat area. That seems to crimp them the best. This one doesn't crimp them as well. Unless it's a really large wire. Gotta see if they work now. Winner, winner. Longhorn steak dinner. Couple screws in the bumper, we're done. It's a lot easier to take the wheel liner completely out of your way and stuff, but like I always talk about, it's you always balance the stress versus the time savings. Alright, up here, I've got the overflow bottle loose to get to the compressor bolts and hoses and heater hoses and some other cool stuff that's going to be in the way. Got to get some connectors and heater hose connections at the back of the engine. And the top, I think there's 2 bell housing bolts at the top I got to get. And then we'll be about ready to lift this thing out. Got the AC discharged, pulled this line out of the way so I can get to those top exhaust manifold bolts and stuff too. Tell you what, some of these electrical connectors, boy, I spent some time trying to get them loose. Like this one in the back of the head. That's a fun one. I don't know why it was so tight. I got it by finally cleaning all the dirt and grease off of it. Maybe that's a factor, but all right, carry on. I'm disconnecting wire and I'm disconnecting heater hoses. I'm probably taking off a lot more than I have to, but I'm not really sure how things go together, what's going to trap what. So some of these things I'm doing now, I'll be able to put on the engine when I put it back in and it'll be done, so it'll save me time going back together. But while I'm figuring it all out, it might take a little extra time because I don't want to break things, and you know what I'm saying? This here is where those 2 bolts are. See this pump and bracket? There's 2 bolts holding that bracket on. Probably studs with nuts. So we got to take those 2 nuts off. I think I'll just unbolt the pump from the bracket. Then maybe, since it's a big slot in the middle of it, I'll be able to get to the bolts to get the rest out of the way. Then I think we're basically out here. This wiring I didn't have to disconnect, but I did for the valve covers, so it's kind of off already. Vacuum line, this is going to go to the intake. So once we dig in here a little bit, even this wire can stay on. It goes to this engine harness. Everything else is disconnected after that. Oh no. Alright, that means there's either nuts on the bottom or some kind of bronze bushing spinning in the rubber. So, change of plans. We'll just go straight to the bracket somehow or another with a stubby ratchet or something. I did not really expect it to work, but I wanted to try it just because, I mean, the optimism I have is overwhelming, and for good reason. Almost always pays off. That's pretty cool. That's why it only pays 8 hours. Man, I think I'm about ready to try to figure out what kind of contraption I can use to lift this out of here. Got to pull the exhaust up on the driver's side. Those 2 bolts I left in the bottom in the slots, I got to pull it up out of those. Then we'll let that motor come out. I believe there's an eyelet here. I'm not sure what I can do in the back. Hook a piece of metal, a bracket up or something to it. And then we'll get the engine crane in here. It might clear the hood, it might not. I might have to disconnect the struts and push it straight up a little bit more. If it'll go, I think the hinges will clear. So it should. If I can't fit it out of there, we got trouble. How high the hood goes. Rusty. Let's see what we can do with our Vim engine pull kit. They had these on clearance one day. I think it was right on their website. $15 I paid for that. Can't beat that. You can't buy the bare chain probably for that. nowadays. I gotta throw some headlights in. I'll be right back. I'll show you a little bit of it. It should be fun. Bro. No diag. Customer said, I got my headlight bulbs in the glove box and I want one of my fog lights changed too. But the headlights, the fog lights, the brights, none of it works. And the beam on the dash shows the brights on all the time, no matter what you do with the switch and stuff. So I got a bad feeling the headlights might not fix it, but she just wants us to install. She'll be mad afterwards, but that's what she wants to do right now. So this looks like it's melted. You guys tell me what you think. I haven't pulled it apart yet. That is melted, needs a connector. So we're just getting started. Same on this side. She melted in there pretty good. Needs 2 connectors and 2 bulbs. Well, to do this fog light, you gotta loosen this canister, vacuum canister, whatever it is, and I unscrewed my little capper thingy. So now I gotta see if I can fit a bulb out there that looks like that. I don't know. Might be kind of optimistic. I got another bolt I could take out up top there, but I figure for 0.3 it can't be too hard. So and the screws here to take it out of the bumper are rusty, and I think to get it, both of them, you got to take the bumper off anyway, and that's really not going to happen for 0.3. So yeah, doesn't even feel like the same fog light. Let's stick our light up here, and hopefully we don't leave it in there. Sometimes we like to do that. Mechanics, we got so many lights we don't even care. I don't think that's what's in there. Those usually stick out of the housing. That's why it has a weather pack seal on it, and they stick out the back of the housing. This looks like an internal one that you have to change this assembly to do. I'm not sure. And you know what? This thing is serviceable. It's just a different style than what we got. It is pretty cool. I'm going to stick the canister the rest of the way out by getting the 10mm one up there, so I can get in there a little better. Erico, what have you done? Oh man, there's so much room now. Is that a Phillips screw? I think I gotta undo a Phillips screw in there. You guys want to look and tell me? Tell me what you see. It looks like it comes right out of there. 0.3. Look at that. That and that. Remember that show? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same. I think that was Sesame Street. You tell me. Well, that's unfortunate. She doesn't have the money to fix the headlights. Just put it back together. Doesn't want to do anything now. The problem is, I've done everything except get the lights working. The sway bar holds the transmission up. Going back together, I'll have to put a jack under the transmission pan, kind of level everything so I can slide them together nice. Don't you take them apart is nice. Sounds good, Jimmy. Get
way out of here.
Man, I'm so excited. 2 or 3 road tests away from completion, bitches. Gotta go by Addison's, gotta go get a sluggy.
I could give you an LM4.
There you go, got errands to run, man. Silly ABS lines are messing with me. There's tons of room on this side. Well, I say tons, respectively. In relation to this side, the brake lines and the motor mount, they get along so well. They don't want to. They're going, don't go. No, don't go. We'll miss you. Guess what? They're going. I'm going to put it back in without these mounts on it.
The office, it's a glass door all the way to the end.
Clean her up so we can take her someplace nice. Yeah, that's a long day. Dead weight right there. Thanks for watching today, guys. Appreciate you. I hope you'll torque the like button before you head out, and don't forget, it's all about the hype nowadays. Hope I see you in another video. You're awesome.